Let's start with the combat system. The combat system is easy to pick up, but hard to master. It says it's not meant to be button mashing, as button mashing leads to game over, but it kind of encourages you to button mash because of the way it's presented. Enemies are coming at you. As a gamer, your reflex is to button mash. It's really frustrating. I have done what the tutorials online is to redirect, which is to jump over your enemies. I try to do that and I jump over the enemies, but they always find a way to hit me from behind, breaking a combo. The higher the combo, the more XP you can earn, and the more your health regenerates. It's difficult. On New Game Plus, it's even worse. No incoming attack indicator. Usually there are blue squiggles over an enemy's head, and I am more used to rolling out of the way, as in The Witcher 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn, etc. And I kind of hate the counter button, especially doing it head on. And it doesn't seem natural if an enemy is coming to you and the counter head on. I much prefer to dodge or roll away rather than counter. And there is no to very little animation cancelling, as in some other games. So when he goes for a punch, Batman has to finish the punch, then he can dodge. He can't stop the punch midway and then dodge. Maybe I'm getting boxed in. I do like their animations. Batman and the other characters have lots of different attacks, from kicks to punches to palm strikes, kicks with both feet, disarm and destroy, instant takedowns. This gives the combat variety, and I like that. Gliding and repelling, and gliding after a boosting repel. It's super fast, and going around the city is super fun. It's probably one of my favourite parts of the game. Catwoman has a similar mechanic, but it's with her whip, and you've got to do some button presses to get the more accurate bonuses. So, let's talk about the story. The story can be nonsensical at times. Why does Mr. Freeze start a fight with you even though you are trying to help him? At least when Joker betrays you, he's got an excuse, is that he's insane. But then again, it kind of feels weird as well. And so what if Raish's goal is to help Strange kill all the prisoners, both political and otherwise? I just couldn't figure out why. I know he says he's going to, wipe the city clean of all its scum, but it just seems kind of weird to me. And another thing about the Mr. Freeze fight. Yeah, I know why people call this boss fight one of the greatest boss fights of all time, but to me, it's so frustrating. It wasn't fun for me. It may be to you. It uses everything the game teaches you, the different takedowns, and it is well designed, but he stops you doing the same thing twice. And it's even worse on New Game Plus. Would have been better if he didn't stop you doing the same thing twice? Don't know. I don't hate the game. I really don't. It's just really frustrating. This is a part what I call in my notes, guide dang it. It seems that you need a guide for help constantly. Tutorials online, video tutorials and written tutorials. Usually in other games I can figure out the puzzle myself, but in Arkham City it doesn't telegraph what it wants the player to do. Often you need to use the devices, your equipment, in a way that wasn't shown to you. I don't know, maybe I should just get good? It just doesn't really telegraph the game doesn't really telegraph what it wants the player to do well. It shows its age, as you know, the game is more than 10 years old, and it is an important game as others were inspired by it, notably Spider-Man and Shadow of Mordor games. But it's still frustrating to me, and you know, you shouldn't play games that are frustrating. Games should be about fun, is it not? Games should be about fun. It was the first time since maybe Crash Bandicoot 2 or 3, more than 10 or maybe 15 years ago, the original, that I felt frustrated enough to slam my game controller on the floor. Arkham City was hard. There is no way to heal the player character, the enemies hit harder, and there are a few checkpoints. It was difficult, especially on New Game Plus mode. I have unlocked the Silver Trophy, a semi-rare achievement, for completing the game on New Game Plus and other trophies as well. But the game shouldn't be this hard. It's why I don't play any Soulsborne games ever. And I do like playing games in the very hard difficulty, the hardest difficulty. Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, Fallout 4, but those games prepare you for it. Arkham City, it seems, it does not. Sure, you get all the gadgets from the start, but the PC still seems unprepared. Games shouldn't be frustrating. They are supposed to be about fun. I originally bought Arkham City because as much as I love the other games I own, I've done almost everything in them, and I needed something new. Maybe I'm just whinging and all I need is just to get good, but games are an escapism, not a chore. Arkham City does have some fun things like gliding and exploring, but I feel too frustrated to try the other modes. I finished Arkham City on New Game Plus, and that was tough. And I kept thinking, all this for an achievement? Why bother? Is it really worth it? The answer is probably that I have a completionist need to complete things. Now I want to talk about Riddler's Revenge, the challenge maps. Let's talk about them. The combat challenges are fun, and they get you excited. And Nightwing can be a fun character to play as. However, there's too many, and it's repetitive. There's about maybe 6 maps, and there are further 6, and these are on the extreme difficulty, and you've got 4 characters to do them with. You're perhaps playing the same maps over 8 times, and that's not including the campaigns, which include those maps on the extreme difficulty, as some of them do as well. It's just too much. There's too many. The Predator challenges are the stealth challenges. Why do the free medals exist? No, seriously, why do the free medals exist in the Predator challenges? I enjoy the Predator sections in the story mode because you got to think for yourself. You have a bunch of gadgets and moves, and you've got to take out the enemies one by one in any way you please. With medals for these challenges, the game forces you to play as it wants you to. You don't feel like you're in control, and that's bad. I just want to hop into a Predator map and enjoy myself, coming up with new strategies by myself. And that's how I thought these Predator maps should be. Maybe the medals could be a reward for the best time. That's an idea if it was possible to do it a different way. Could you finish the challenges by yourself? Yes. But once again, a guide will be quicker. It will take time, lots of time, to complete them all. The campaigns are a chore. 14 challenges featuring the same maps as either Predator or combat maps over and over again. And then you've got the modifiers, which to me reminds me of the mutators in Unreal Tournament, a game that came out many, many years ago. And it's just too much. It's just too much. Not enough to keep me interested. I mean, if I was enjoying the game like I enjoyed Witcher 3 or or Horizon Zero Dawn, I would go back and complete those, but it's just too much. And the Black Mask's train level also has awkward controls for side scrolling in the combat section. But for the combat maps, it seems that it's easier. It's easier to redirect over enemies. The enemies seem slower, and the animation seems to stick to each other better than in the story mode. One last thing about the story mode. I've discovered that, it's my theory that some of the sound effects in the cutscenes are linked to the music. I turned the music off and it seems that the sound effects were missing. So, let me show you a clip and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. What do you think?
Impressive, Batman. I doubted you would actually return.
I'm a man of my word, Victor. You should know that by now.
The formula is complete. The bonding process appears to have been successful.
Arkham fanboys, please don't hate me. The game is not for me. I like the stealth sections and I like gliding around the city, but ultimately I prefer action RPGs instead. It's not a bad game, it's just extremely frustrating. It was really, really frustrating. The story was frustrating, the gameplay was frustrating, New Game Plus was frustrating, the challenge maps was frustrating, everything to me was just frustrating. And I don't want to play frustrating games. I want to have fun. And games, if anything, should be about fun, right? Will I finish the challenge maps? Who knows? Yes or no? I mean, the completionist inside me says it wants to, but, it's my life and time, as always, will heal these kinds of disappointments. Anyway, I hope this review has been useful to you or entertaining in some way. And all that's left to say is thank you for watching.